Welcome back. Another edition of Down and Back Live. As you can see, I've got probably the man that's most talked about in the cornhole world right now, Matthew Morton. Matthew, welcome to the Down and Back.
Thank you for having me.
I've kind of been thinking about how to try and get you on the show here for the last little bit, and then it took like a tweet, I guess, to see about getting you on the show. But yeah, so I guess you kind of had a little bit of a big weekend this past weekend in Erie.
Yeah, we finally got our first win together.
Yeah, it was just I think it was just a small win that you kind of got going there. But before we get into that, how you're still young. You're only 17, but how did you get started playing the game?
We used to play charity tournaments, me and my dad, down in Driver, Suffolk, and it would be like $2 entry fee. You would get a medal if you won, and then all the money went to charity. So I just started out playing that, and I started getting a little better. And I started practicing, going to local tournaments, and somebody told me about ACL. So I just decided to join, and it just took off from there. I've been practicing. I've been playing good recently.
So yeah, you're talking with your dad there, and I kind of talked to you a bit about this before, but you've got like a lot of support back there. So how does that help you with your game?
Yeah, seeing everybody back home watching me on TV, I know I got to show out. I got to do something up there.
Yeah, well, like you said, you kind of did do something in Erie, so we can't go too much without talking about that perfect game that you had.
That was crazy. I went up there. I told my partner we only got to throw 20 bags in the hole and we'll win it all. And we just came out firing, just not missing.
Yeah, not missing at all. And I know for me watching it is, I love seeing someone be able to do that, but I'm thinking, how can he do that so effortlessly? It's just, come on.
I'm sweating under there. I'm nervous. I don't show my emotions that much, but underneath the mask and everything, I'm screaming.
Well, I guess the mask kind of helped to kind of hide, some of the emotions there, but it's just,
yeah.
It's, just like I said, you look so calm, and it was just like, yep, I'm just throwing it in, and I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, the other thing I've noticed too is, and yourself being only 17, like I said, and there's so many good young players coming up like now, and I guess I talked to some of the guys in Florida about this, and you're kind of the exception because everyone else, all the other younger players seem to be from Florida, but you're based out of Virginia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right. So it's is that kind of I guess I'm not sure how to put it, but you make you feel how you're not able to play against those other younger players all the time unless you're at a national, but we really haven't had that many where everybody can get together. But just, I guess your thoughts on just how many good young players there are now.
There's tons. Like the pros, you got McClem, you got Birchfield. They're both in the Invitational. They won one. Yep. So there's just two good pros, and I know a bunch of people who aren't pros that are coming up. It's crazy how good they are now. So it took me like 6 or 7 years to get at least decent. It's taken them like 4 months.
Well, yeah, and I know, like for McClem, for instance, like I had seen him back a couple years ago in Cherokee, in North Carolina, and I blown away now to see actually how, I guess, still young he is, but just how he was that good then. But it's Cornhole is just going to be crazy here in a few years with just how many great players you guys have. And even still now you're getting kind of all the media attention as well too. You've got you kind of said you had that Barstool story I was talking about you, how you're now like the top athlete on the planet, I think they called you.
That was crazy.
Well, yeah, and it's just and it's like they said in that interview, in that story, is once that exposure comes out and you're just you've now become the face of the ACL for a bit here.
I've been working hard for it. I've been practicing, just hoping I can show out, get some on stage. And it's been happening recently. I'm hoping I can keep it up the next national.
Oh yeah, and exactly. And you know what? And I've talked to some of the other pros, and they're all said, watch out for this guy, Morton that's coming up, that he's gonna be crazy. And then even like just this morning here, actually, I got a message from Bobby Speary. He's like, I hear you having Matt on the show tonight, that he actually played singles against you. He's like, I was right there with him, and then I missed a couple shots, and then he's just then he took over. But you're just that humble kid that he's like, I'll play him anytime because it's just good fun games.
Yeah, that's the main reason I play. It's competitive, it's fun, you just relax.
Yeah, and it is that fun atmosphere, playing with friends, just kind of going. So your normal league that you would play in, is there anyone else that any of the cornhole world would actually kind of know as well that's in your league?
No, what?
Like any other like pros or any other names that people may recognize that you might play with on a regular basis?
We got a ton down here. We got Rocky, James Baldwin, Jordan Camba, Justin Stranger, Ryan Smith, Sean Smith, Leston, Timmy. It just goes on.
Yeah. And it's like I don't even talk to some of the other guys, like even Jay Corley's from your area as well too. Yeah. Had him on the show before, and it's like you guys, South Florida and Cleveland are like, you guys are like a national, every kind of maybe regional that you guys have, because you've got so many good players, and some I'm guessing probably that's why there's so many of the top players are from those three areas.
Mm-hmm. Our regionals, there's at least 4 to 12, like pro. Anybody could win it if they're hot that day. But we just go at each other. That's why we're so good now. Every single day we just play each other and get better.
Oh yeah, you got that good practice partner, I guess. Any kind of game was like a good practice.
Oh yeah.
Right. So then, speaking of practice, I'll talk to some of the other guys about this. What is, like, for anyone else who's out there trying to get to your level, what's your practice routine like?
Up until COVID, I would just play a lot of local tournaments because I didn't see the point in practicing just by myself, kind of, and just tournaments that help me with different situations I have to go through. But then once COVID started up, my cornhole friend starting up his own restaurant. So he gave us some keys. He said we can practice in there all we want. So me and Brad just go there almost every day. We just practice and practice.
Yeah. So then with Brad now, how long have you guys been partners?
2 or second year.
Yeah. So it's that thing. And even watching you guys kind of had that good chemistry going as well too, because it's like we said, all doubles that it's that chemistry with the partner. You got the confidence in him. I don't think he can help but have the confidence in you after seeing the way you're playing, but it's just, that's what makes that dynamic of a really good team.
Yeah, me and Brad, we live like 10 minutes apart. We played local blind draws for a couple of years before we went pro together. And just one year we decided we both needed a partner and we paired up. We got similar personalities. It clicks.
Yeah, I think that's what does make the great partners, is just when you have that. So I'm seeing a question in the chat here. What are your favorite bags? I know you're sponsored by All Cornhole. So which All Cornhole bags are you throwing?
Game Changers.
Throwing the Game Changer, yeah. It's kind of, I think that's what everyone's kind of really into with the All Cornhole. So speaking of that then as well, you got All Cornhole as your sponsor. Do you have any other sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah. I got 21 Apparel, Cornhole Ace, Defiance Darts, and Hornsby Tire Pros.
Yeah, because you can't really get anywhere without your sponsors, really. But it's it's that big, yeah, it's that big All Cornhole one, and getting that in there with them, because I think you're almost even going to be the face of them if you keep throwing the way you are here.
I'm hoping so.
And maybe even and people can actually probably get your bags as well too. You've got your own signature bags.
Mm-hmm. I got I think it's a green alien dude, and he's spinning a bag on his finger with the hat on. Here,
And
there's
probably,
a. See
yeah,
if I can get it in there.
yeah, cool. And it's almost like you, where you got that juggle thing down when you're before you're
Yeah,
throwing.
that's everybody knows me for that and how I used to step over the board after I threw. It's
Yeah.
just it's natural. It's like a nervous tick before I go up on stage. I have to flip it. I don't know how to describe it.
Well, yeah, I think everyone's got those. Kind of, I can only do it with one hand because I think if I'm doing it with both, I'm gonna be dropping it at least a couple times, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm not sure. I kind of seen a thing from Brad on from Erie, but was that his first time on national TV then in a final?
No, in Rock Hill, the first invitational, we made it to the finals, but lost to Jamie and Frank.
No. Yeah,
and then the year before that, we went for Crew Cup, and we won Crew Cup, and we were on the finals for doubles, the championships last year, but we lost by a couple points.
Yeah, so you're kind of back for a vengeance here now.
Yep. We've gotten like 3 seconds. This was first tournament we actually pulled it together and won it.
Well, I guess you are getting hot at that right time. That it's right before Philly for that big show.
Yep.
And that one I'm hoping that we'll be able to see it here or else someone will put a live feed on Facebook for us to watch because I think that is going to be one to watch because there's so many super teams that are involved in that one.
Oh yeah, trust me, my dad he'll start live streaming anything.
So yeah, I may have to try and check that out because that's why I like watching those other streams to watch all these other games because it's what's better than just sitting around watching cornhole.
Yeah.
Right. So then talking with Philly here, so there's yourself and Brad. You're gonna get a chance to get another shot at Jamie and Frank,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm thinking there's Lester Price, Jay Rubin.
Yeah, there's DK, Trey,
yeah,
Dalton, and Colin Malone.
Yeah.
It's stacked. We're ready for it.
I'm gonna almost say if it was like an all-star game in any other sport, this would be like the all-star kind of sum-up tournament for the ACL.
There's no slackers in there. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. I believe you did win. Did you win one of the singles then for one of the ACL the qualifiers here?
Yeah, I won Rock Hill, the first one.
Okay, yeah. I kind of remember. I thought you did, but there's so much stuff going on in the head here. But so you've actually kind of double dipped with the pro qualifiers.
Yeah, I was hoping for singles in the past one, but I think I got fifth. I made it to the top 8, and then I lost the coin flip, so I had to play the night before off at ESPN, and I had to play Ryan Windsor.
Okay.
And I was up the whole game until it was 9-8, and the last frame I gave up 2 and lost 10-9.
Okay, so then let's kind of touch on that a bit then, because these pro qualifiers are that other little different thing, right? So you only got your 10 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on the 10-round game to just a regular game? What are your thoughts on that?
You got to play a little different. You got to play way more cautious than you normally do, but not too cautious because you'll end up losing. But you got to just slide everything you can in. But if they throw a blocker, you just got to try conservative, throw it behind them. And if they go over, you just got to hope. You got to hit your shots.
Don't let him fool you. He never plays cautious.
Yeah, we've kind of seen like that there. But so, and then I guess that would lead to then you talked about you practiced with Brad during the off time here. Did you do any of the ghost cornhole or any of the deck around stuff?
I did a lot of prize picks for the ACO.
Okay, so so that was your deck around. So I know talk to some other people about this as well too. Your thoughts on coming out of that, where you were just playing by yourself, you're just going for the hole. Was there like a time where you had to try and figure out playing against somebody again? Although you had your, like you said, you got a chance to practice with Brad, but just that tournament play where you've got someone else on the board where you got to try and do that chess dance with them to try and not let them score as well too.
Yeah. They would actually at the restaurant when I would throw over there, go do my prize picks, and then there would be other people just sitting around wanting to play. So I think it kind of gave me an advantage the off season because I kept going on playing my normal games, practicing a lot more than I used to, and I came out there.
Yeah, because I felt that's what I kind of seen a bit with some of the other guys where they're used to being. I've got an open. I'm throwing it at an open board. I'm not. So some of those games were the boards weren't messy. They were just because everyone was just trying to go in all the time. So it was just. I think that's a big adjustment for a lot of people that are coming back into the game.
Yeah, my problem used to be I would miss all the easy shots, just the open slide, open push, but I could hit the hard airmail drags. But after practicing just so much, just sliding it in, I finally feel confident with sliding around and pushing and any kind of those shots.
So then to ask you then, are you liking when it's a messy board or do you want that clean board?
I like it messier usually, just because I know I can hit the crazy shots that some people might not.
Yeah. Well, we kind of seen that on the weekend a bit. Right? Because, the guys you actually play against in the final, Noise and Humans, they weren't really pushovers either because they took Hisner and Henderson to an extra end.
Yeah. Andy actually plays by us. So I know exactly how he plays. I know how hot he can get. And I've seen Human for the past couple of years, and I've seen him throw crazy, just lights out. So I knew we had to come out there just throwing our best.
Yeah, so I see with some people watching here. If you have any questions for Matthew, put them in the chat. We'll get them to answer them here because, like I said, we're always here. We're here for fun, helping people get to know the game a bit more, or getting to know you. So, getting to know you away from the board. What's Matthew Morton doing when he's away from the board?
Recently since COVID, I just graduated, so I'm kind of just practicing, playing video games, doing chores, just normal kind of stuff. And sometimes I go out, play some basketball. But besides that, that's mainly my days. Just hang out with my friends, ride around.
So what's your video game of choice?
Right now, NHL.
Okay.
But I'm a big 2K person.
So you're not with like the Fortnite crowd or anything like that there.
Nah.
Yeah, no.
I used to be, but I got out of that like 2 years ago.
I'm kind of with you on the other sports games because I'm not into all that other stuff. But but yeah. So are you with the NHL on that? Are you the same on that as you are on the boards, or are you more of a fun just for fun?
It's kind of for fun, but I'm all right. I can beat like people who don't play a lot. But I play Ultimate Team, so if you got like a 90 or above team, I'm done for.
Well, hey, maybe you can start going to tournaments with those there too as well, and then kind of help on with that. Another way for you to be like you are the best player on the best athlete on the planet, right?
Yeah.
So then, with you playing the NHL and the other stuff, you said to play basketball. Any other sports that you played outside of that?
I played a lot growing up. I played soccer and baseball when I was like 10 or younger, and then I went into lacrosse for like 5 years. And I used to be really good at lacrosse, but I just slowly grew out of it.
Okay, so then I've talked to some other people about this too. Do you think that playing other sports in that competitive nature kind of helps you with playing cornhole when you get to that bigger stage, you get to the more advanced games? Do you think that you can kind of think back to the way you were with that and any other pressure situations to put in the cornhole?
Yeah, I'm super competitive because my dad and my mom, they're both extremely competitive. So just every game I play, I try to win. So playing those games growing up, it fueled me for this kind of.
Okay, so we've got another question from the chat here. Mitchell asks, how many airmails have you hit in a row?
I don't even know that. Do you know that?
I don't know exactly, but I'd say it's in the low 20s.
Low 20s. Me and Frank just shot a commercial down in Arizona, and they threw some boards out, so we were just practicing on the side, and I think we hit 26 in a row. But I can't even remember the highest I've gone.
Yeah. Well, I guess it may be something to look into, to try and set some sort of record or something. But I know that if you hit 26 in a row, that's 25 more than I could do in a row. But so like we said, we got the Philly coming up. So your local area, have you kind of opened up yet? Have you were able to play any kind of stuff in your area?
I think everything just opened back up like last week or the week before that. But it's still kind of closed off a little bit, but you can still go out and play now.
Yeah. So I think we're up to like 10. They're talking about maybe 15 next week. So we're almost there to be able to play on a regular basis. But yeah. So if your dad's there, if he can come in for a minute, I don't know if he's okay with that.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug.
How you doing? Just to talk with you about it. So what's it like for you seeing Matthew on this bigger stage, and seeing kind of all this attention that he's been getting?
Oh, it's been a whirlwind. It's amazing. I knew a couple years ago that he was I really felt like he was gonna be something special. And if you look back at his ACL performance last year in the pro division, he had 2 5th places overall. That was 2 second place bracket finishes where he got lost to Matt Guy twice. He lost to Cody Henderson twice in those 2 tournaments. And then in the next national, he finished in 2nd overall, losing to James Baldwin in the finals. So for consistency, he had a 5th, a 5th, and a 2nd. And I knew he was just on the verge of being, taking it to that next level. And then he came out this year and he started out with a strong 3rd place finish down in Florida, only falling to Ryan Windsor at the very end. And he had to double dip a great player, Ryan Smith, to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just seems like, I attribute maybe some of it to the deck around games and the prize picks contests that he was doing. Like he kind of alluded to, he started throwing, he was never, in my mind, an elite slider. He hit the airmails like crazy. He had some fancy go around shots, some great pushes. But he struggled with just, hey, I need to hit 3 bags in a row straight up the gut. And that was not his strong suit sometimes. So anyway, just taking a couple months and doing nothing but trying to throw it up the middle, I think helped round his game out now. So he's comfortable just going slide, slide, slide. And then when it does get messy, he goes back to the old reliable airmail.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think he could be then the opposite to a lot of people, because a lot of people were okay with that slide. And then watching some of the people play online, they're trying to do that airmail all the time. And it's just, they're now trying to go that well one too many times.
Right.
And it's just, it's a total different game.
I will tell you that even when he's playing his deck round games, though, he does it a little bit differently than everyone else. If he lips a bag and it's just, barely hanging in the hole, I think just about every other player out there playing a deck round game says, okay, that bag's out of play. The smart move is just slide and take my 10. He doesn't take a 10.
Yeah,
he doesn't take the 10. If that bag is hanging with just one pellet in the hole, he's going for the drag. And again, I think that kept his skills fresh. So when he came back up against the live opponents, he was ready to go.
Yeah, I think that becomes that whole other practicing where you're doing that, and then like I said, we see the results of that with that game in the finals in Erie.
Yeah. The people around here, they kind of know when Matthew gets in a zone. I mean, I've watched him for years, and I feel like I know his body language. Before he lets a bag go, I feel like I know whether it's going to go in or not. I really feel that I can tell that. But when he gets in a zone, the people around our local area, you understand. When you see that body language, look out. He catches fire, and it's just like he can drop the bag wherever he wants. And like you mentioned earlier, it appears to be effortless for him sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong, he'll go on a cold streak, and and cornhole is cornhole. It's a very hard game. But when he finds that zone, he can be exceptionally deadly.
Yeah, and I think Trey was even starting to laugh at it. Watching that final there, it's almost like it became robotic.
Yeah,
doing it.
I think Trey said later on that night he was running out of superlatives. There was just nothing else to say.
Oh yeah, you just gotta sit there and it's like, wow, it's like I said, when you said before, they hit about the 26 air mails. I think that's 25 more than what I can do, because it's just just watching it is just it's fun to sit back and watch.
Yeah, like I said, when he's on, it's an absolute show. He mentioned earlier, he did a commercial shootout in Arizona for Game Changers, with Frank Modlin, and when those two got together, just goofing around and just having a good time, we went out to a blind draw, and we weren't even taking the blind draw seriously because everyone in the room was watching Frank and Matthew. They were in the tournament, right? But when they went head to head against each other, they weren't even. They agreed they were just going to play a fun game. So they were playing an airmail game. They were covering their eyes and throwing airmails. They were throwing their airmails between their legs, but they hit everything they threw, and the room was just in awe of those two. But when they feed on each other, when you get two players feeding on each other like that, it's fun to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, because I know even here, we have it. I don't know if Matthew wants to come in, you guys can both be on the show here.
Come on back.
But yeah, it's just it's almost like that old McDonald's commercial with Bird and Michael Jordan, just playing horse, right? It's just we, like I said, we have it here where if we're done in a league night and we've still got time, it's like, okay, we're going to throw the bags backwards, trying to see if we can, how many times we got to hit the board or on the hole. But because it's just, that's the fun of the game.
That brings it all back. When you see the smiles on the faces when they're throwing, that one of the things that I really, it just grates on me is when I see, especially some of the younger kids, and they're playing so hard and they're gritting their teeth and they're, just, I know you want to win and I know it's serious to you, but it's still, if you lose the passion for the game, you run the risk of flaming out too soon, in my opinion. You still have to love the game.
Exactly. Like I keep saying that I had Luke Johnson on, and come to find out now that my partner and I were his first win at a major back in Cherokee.
He's came a long way, by the way.
Oh,
he's pretty phenomenal. I saw him in Rock Hill, and he was throwing great.
Well, I think he was 13 at the time when I played against him. Well, I didn't play against him. I'd seen we were playing Ryan and Luke. I said to my partner, who was number one in Canada here at the time, I was like, "You're playing Luke. I'm taking Ryan. I don't even want to see him at all." Right. So but there's like I said to Matthew, there's so many great young players that this game is just it's in. I think it's gonna be in good hands for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Justin Stranger is another one of the young guns from around our area. He's going to make some noise. He's real close to that breakthrough. So watch out for him. But yeah, absolutely. You guys talked about Trey Birchfield earlier and Dalton McClem, Justin. Yeah, and I know I'm leaving out a few, and I certainly don't mean to. We've got even in our area, Harley Culpepper is a great women's player, a great junior, and just a great player.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the other great thing is that it doesn't, man, woman, guy, girl. Everyone's still playing together, and everyone is still able to take on anyone and win at any time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So. Now, with you graduating high school, Matthew, is any colleges looking for you to come and be to help with them with the Cornhole College Championships?
I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna go to TNCC,
Oh, yeah.
Thomas Nelson Community College.
Besides, he's a pro. He's not allowed to play college.
Oh, I guess, yeah. Well, although Jamie Graham played for a bit there. I don't know if he just kind of.
Well, that was in a pro invitational
Okay.
alumni tournament.
Okay.
So yeah, he Matt was in that too, and they actually had to play each other. But it was a pretty neat thing that ACL did. They took college alumni and paired them up with a pro, and then those two competed for that school.
Mm-hmm.
So it was some interesting pairings and matchups. I think Matt got to play for the University of Memphis in that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. So, and then actually saying Jamie, that's another. He's been around for so long. You think he's so old, but he's still early 20s. It's just.
Yeah, and there's a lot of players out there like that. They've been around for a long time, and you kind of forget how young they truly are and how much game they got left in them.
Oh, it's almost like they have to drop the age level for the seniors for the older guys to be able to compete here pretty soon.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ryan Windsor's another one of them. I think he's right around the same age as Jamie, if I'm not mistaken. So, it's not looking too good for us old guys.
No, I think even at the social level, for me, it's almost not looking too good. But it's still it's a fun game.
Yeah.
So then we talked about the pro picks a bit, Matthew. So how did it feel for you knowing, you're playing, you got the pressure of playing and people watching you, but then people are kind of betting on whether you're going to go over that number or not make that number. What's that kind of pressure like?
I just go out there and try to throw my best game. I try to ignore all of that happening. But if I got an airmail and drag a bag for like a 108, but my line's a 104, and I just slide it in get over my line, I'll just slide it in.
So, your dad here, did he you put any money on it there? Maybe slip him in to say, hey, don't hit the number this time?
Well, number one, I would have always taken the over with him, even with the crazy numbers, because I've seen him. But unfortunately, in the state of Virginia, we're not allowed to gamble. It won't let us register and even do an account. Because trust me, I tried.
Yeah. So, and then he got we had the pro picks. I just lost the last question there. But so if anyone else has got questions and that are actually watching, let us know. Matt will be happy to answer them here.
Yeah, I've had quite a few people tell me that they made some good money on Matthew on Prize Picks, but by taking the over. And we all were like a little wide-eyed when they started coming out with those crazy numbers, 107.5 and stuff like that. But he did well in those. He really did. And like I said, I think they sharpened his game a lot.
So, and then another thing that kind of sharpened your game a bit is we had seen you on the trick shots that Trey came up with on ESPN. So it's like you got your name with that, you got your name with the Erie and that there. It's just you're just all over the place. So how did the thought of that trick shot coming up?
My dad he wanted me to try to AM1 as many bags as we could, so we just saw 3 boards laying around. So I tried it I got it close about 2 or 3 times, but it took about like 10 minutes to get the 3 M1s.
I think because, Doug, you said you don't get ESPN, the Cornhole up there. You may have missed kind of, I think, where it originated was the concept. That previous weekend in Rock Hill, he was playing Cheyenne Renner, who was just throwing lights out, and she was beating him early in the game, and she put a bag right behind the hole. And with Matt's, I think, second bag of the frame, he didn't hesitate. He just went right up and he and-one'd it right off the back. And, that got everyone's attention. Most of the time you're going to wait till your last bag to try something like that. But, it was just bold. And then she put another bag kind of behind the hole and off to the side. And he did it again. He didn't and-one it, but he tried. Mm-hmm. And he hit the airmail too clean. And then lo and behold, on his last bag, he tried again, and he hit the airmail clean again, but didn't get the and-one. But he kind of became known for the ability to hit that. So I thought, why not just show that it wasn't a fluke, and let's just line these things up. And it took him I think it took him about 8 to 10 minutes to do the plunk, plunk, plunk and do 3 in a row. It didn't take very long at all.
I know for myself, I know we're finally getting a chance to get out and do other stuff. So we got a camping trip with some of my cornhole guys this weekend. So I think we're going to start trying to do our own trick shots to send in. And because I know last year we did over the length of the camper and to try and get it in, and we weren't too successful, but it's it's fun. It's hard on the arm, but it gets fun trying to throw the bag actually almost like 40, 50 feet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's a real blind. You're like, actually, you got to try and look around the camper for a second and then try and line yourself up. But
and you don't get to see it go in. You lose the thrill.
No. And if you don't throw it long enough, you got to climb up on top of the camper and get the bag. Right, so it's kind of 6 of one and half dozen the other. So, Steve, got some more people in the chat here now. If you guys want to, if anyone has any questions, I know we got one guy, Tom, in the chat. I know he was really hoping to. He's new to cornhole. He wanted to get to Philly, but unfortunately now we're going to have no fans to be able to watch. So, is that something that you notice, Matthew? That without the fans there compared to with fans?
I noticed it a little bit. I have my headphones like full blast when I go on TV because I get so nervous, but I can still, it's a difference. I'm used to a lot of people being there, but recently I've gotten used to hearing a couple claps in the crowd, and it's definitely different being there with no fans.
With his headphones in, he may not notice much of a difference, but I got to tell you, as a spectator, man, it feels different. When you've got the whole crowd sitting close to the boards and let's be honest, a lot of alcohol's been flowing probably for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
There's just, it's an atmosphere that's just amazing. It's raucous, it's loud, there's hooting, there's hollering, there's yelling. And then now it's just stone cold silence, and it's a totally different atmosphere. With Matt, like he said, with his headphones in, he probably doesn't notice it as much as some others.
Mm-hmm.
But that would have to play an impact if you're used to hearing a crowd and then you don't.
Well, exactly. And now with Matt with the headphones in, some of the other guys have said when they're not wearing them, they can actually hear Trey talking, and that kind of almost gets their mind going with okay, should I actually be throwing the shot that he's talking about, or should I be doing what I want to do?
Yeah.
Brad had a story, last year. It was kind of funny. We were in the World Championships, right? And it was a close game. It's the first ESPN broadcast of Cornhole live ever on the main channel. Matthew and Brad in the finals. I don't know, it was close, maybe halfway through. And Brad has to make this critical shot. And in his backswing, he's about 8 feet away from Trey Ryder. And he hears Trey say, "And this is the biggest shot of Brad Powers' career."
Yeah.
And you can't help but hear it, and you can't help but let it affect your shot. It just, once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's kind of funny to hear him tell that story because people don't think about that. But without that loud noise, they're right. The broadcasters are right on top of you.
Yeah. Like I know for here, we've tried to do some stuff live and even recorded stuff. So now, and I've been in the one talking with some of our tournaments because I'm never in the end anymore. But it's I've even had people come up to me and say, "You know what, we can hear you talking the whole time." So now it's like I'm either trying to be as far away as I can, or else we're recording, and then I'll add commentary later on because it's just. They say it gets in your, that thought process, especially if you're in like a rut and you're not getting the shots you want, and then you got this guy talking.
You got a scapegoat standing behind you.
Yeah, you got this guy saying just how bad you're throwing, and now you got to try and, get your head wrapped around that and throw in the bag.
Yeah.
But it's I just think that noise is what is the game. I think that's what maybe the ESPN broadcasts right now are a bit missing, is that crowd atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's I had even talked to some guys from the UK who were on the show here, and they're wanting to start up there because they were over here, they were in Florida for something, they see it on ESPN, and they're like, this is darts. This is almost like the way darts is over there. So they're trying to get it the same way there, but it's that atmosphere where the guys playing and having fun, everyone in the stands that's watching it having fun, and it's that good combination.
They're high-fiving and they're pointing at each other. They're talking smack. They picked their horse in this match, and they're cheering them on. It's a lot of fun to be in the stands and watch those high-stakes games. That's for sure.
It's almost like the crowd becomes more fun to watch than the play at times.
I've been part of some of those crowds.
Yeah, but it's what makes the game.
No doubt.
Right. So we know Matthew is the big player. So what's your game like?
I am between intermediate and competitive. I like to think that I've regressed over the last few years. I want to believe that at one point I was a little better than what I am, but I've kind of shifted, and I just have a lot more fun watching Matthew and recording his matches. And I'll still play in the blind draws. I run a lot of the blind draws around here now. So, I might play in like half of those, and then I just try to sit back and run the other half of them.
So then to give you a league a show, what's the name of the league that you guys do play with? Well,
for the last 5-6 years or so, we've played every Wednesday night at a place called PBR. But because of COVID, they've been closed down. They haven't opened back up. And as Matt mentioned earlier, we have a friend who's opening his own barbecue restaurant. It's going to be called Smokin' D's when it opens in Hampton, Virginia. But right now, it's just a big empty shell because of COVID. The construction kind of got halted. So we've started calling it the Cornhole Underground, and we've got boards in there, and we're starting to play on there instead of over at PBR, at least temporarily, but probably long term, because he's going to center the whole restaurant around Cornhole. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
So
that's our venue, the Cornhole Underground.
So it might be like the Game Changer that started up in Massachusetts. I don't know if you've seen it. I know the Doghouse guys. I've been playing at a good place called Game Changers. That's just a cornhole bar restaurant type of deal.
I did not realize it was themed around cornhole, but I've heard of Game Changers. I feel like I'm a member of almost every cornhole club or group on Facebook that there is. So I know I've seen Game Changers. I just didn't realize it was themed around that. That's nice.
Yeah, they got apparently talking with Donnie from the Doghouse. They've got, I think there's like 8 or 10 boards set up inside, and it's like all the TVs are set up with Scoreholio. So it's a great place. So I'm guessing your place may be the same way. So I may have to stop in on my way. Next time I'm on my way down to Charlotte, and as we're going through Virginia, maybe
absolutely
hook over and see you guys. I know there's a couple other guys that are in your area that I do have to stop in and see.
Yeah, well, we are per capita one of the heaviest cornhole centric areas in the country. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Well, yeah, it's like I said to Matthew, it's like you guys, South Florida and Cleveland are like your local tournaments are national tournaments.
Yeah, no doubt. It's not fun to show up at a regional for us Joe Schmoes. We show up and look around the room, and there's 14 pros in the room. And when I say there's 14 pros in the room, I don't mean 14 mid-tier pros. I mean there's 14 world-class elite players right there in the bracket with you. So that's they laugh and they joke about it, but it really is deadly serious. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
And to some extent, that may be why occasionally you feel like particular players may not get their due. It's because it's hard to stand out when you're playing in that group so often, whereas opposed to maybe someone else who's playing in a smaller area that doesn't have a whole lot of top tier talent. You might have 1 or 2 or 3 players that constantly win all the time, and they begin to develop a profile, much more quickly, as opposed to, like I said, we've just got so many players around here. I know Leston and Timmy are a little bit north of here for us, but we see them a lot. They fall into that category. Michael Lucas, Michael Dingus Jr. My goodness, if they didn't play in the Atlantic Conference, you would hear their name way more often than what you hear them. Jordan Kamba, my gosh, even up in the Richmond area, you got Jay Corley, Trey Kelly, Curtis Kearns. They're all tough.
Yeah.
And of course Baldwin Kamba, which we hope to only see in Philly in the finals.
Yeah. And the thing about almost all the guys you talked about there is that they're also great people off the boards, which is something that people just see that one persona on TV. But, I talk about like a Timothy Pitcher is the first guy I ever met. And he sat and had a conversation for like half an hour, never even knew me, but he was just, we talked cornhole and just strategy. And he's still like, if you ever need any help, message me. But that's the thing with all these great players, that if you are playing against them, they're more than happy to help you out, which makes the newer player more comfortable playing in that atmosphere.
Matthew's had just about every one of those, players pull him aside and give him guidance, advice, tips. Like you said, that the game is full of great people, but we have more than our fair share around here too.
Yeah. So we're coming up on the 45 minutes here. I want to thank you guys for coming on. I'm hoping to have you on again after you're crowned winner of in Philly, and then I'm crossing my fingers that the border will open, and I'll be able to see you guys down in Rock Hill later in August. But we'll have to see. I've been told that the border is staying closed till the 21st of July, so it might be cut it a bit short. But I hope to see you guys down, or even at some other national, because I was in Cleveland for a matter of hours, and when that there got canceled.
Yeah, we were too.
Yeah.
So we'll work on helping you petition ESPN though, so you can get some more coverage up there.
Oh yeah, I've been all over them on Twitter because they're showing that tag competition. I'm like, you're gonna show tag and not cornhole? Like, come on. There's one's a sport, one's just they're really nothing. But it's it's Matthew, you're doing great things for the game. You're a great ambassador. Like I said, Bobby Speary sent me that message there today. How just you're a great guy to play against because it's fun. It's just exciting game that you're back and forth with him, and he's like, I will play with him anytime he wants to play. So it's you're being noticed out there, and this you're a well-respected player within the cornhole community, and it's great to see.
Yeah.
I appreciate those kind words, but he did scare us. Don't. He did scare us. He was throwing really well early on. He got a couple bad bags, a couple bad breaks that we capitalized on. But
that's what Bobby says. Like, I had like 2 bags that I wish I could have back, but it's it's breaks like that it just sometimes you're there, sometimes you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wish I had more Matt's luck and was there, because I'm usually not there. So it's
I do too. I think somehow or another, I either, I gave him all my luck, or he stole it from me or something, because when he started getting really good, that's about the time I feel like I started going in the tank. So maybe there's something to that. I don't know.
I wish I was like him and got a name for my play, because Corn Dug here a Corn Dug is throwing the bag about a foot short of the board. So it's not what you want to be known for, but it's I guess I'm known in the game here. But it's like I said, thank you guys so much for coming on and doing this here, and I hope to have you guys on again very soon.
Yeah,
appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, and everyone watching, if you can subscribe to the channel here, like the post here. Leave a comment if you want to see anyone else on here or want to know anything else about Matthew. We'll try and get the question to him. But yeah, so again,
keep making your way around the Atlantic Conference. You already mentioned a couple good names that have already been on. Keep making your way through.
Oh yeah, it's just there's just so many. It's like and I said when I first started the show, I wanted to be like just a 5-minute audio show about just about our local stuff, and all of a sudden it's boomed out to 2 shows a week on YouTube here. But it's it's I have fun getting to know the cornhole players and talking, and it's turned into something a lot more than what I expected.
Well, you're doing good things. There's definitely an audience for it.
Exactly. So yeah, it's like I said again, best of luck to you and Brad in Philly, and hopefully maybe you can do the double, get a doubles win and a singles win, and we'll really solidify your best athlete on the planet that the Barstool guys are going for. So
awesome.
So, I'm gonna try for it.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, we'll be trying to watch you on TV or Facebook or any kind of a live feed somewhere. So everyone else, keep having fun. That light at the end of the tunnel is, for Matthew, it's there. He's already on ESPN. But for everyone else, we're almost there to be playing live. Just keep safe and keep having fun playing virtual if you have to. And we will see you for Friday's show. We're still going to be a mystery guest. And then we'll be back next week with a live, trying to do a live Canada thing here for Canada here. But some of those other Canadian team guys are just being a little too difficult to get on. So hopefully we'll see you here next week, and keep having fun.
Take care.